All right, welcome to the Tabunda podcast. My name is Joe.
And I'm Caleb.
And today we're going to be talking about The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, a Netflix original, I believe, from the Coen brothers, Joel and Ethan. I just saw this yesterday, a little bit late. Caleb, I don't know how long ago you saw it, but...
like a couple weeks ago. Not too long ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks. I'm really far behind with it then, huh? I love the Coen brothers. I'm not wild about the stuff they've been doing lately. I still like it, and they seem to be doing a lot of, like... I don't want to say screwing around, but kind of, just more goofier kind of movies.
Yeah, it seems like they're making things for themselves. Not that that's always a bad thing, but I don't know. What was their last project before Buster Scruggs? Hail Caesar.
Llewyn Davis, yeah. And then Llewyn Davis before that, correct?
Yeah, I never actually saw Llewyn Davis. I really need to see it. I've heard that's great. Hail Caesar...
I don't know. I don't know about it being great, but it's all right.
Hail Caesar, the first time I watched it, I was kind of disappointed. Because the trailer is amazing. It's one of the best trailers I've ever seen. It looked like a lot more exciting than the actual movie was. The actual movie was just Coen brothers kind of goofing around. But
yeah, in Golden Age Hollywood.
But I watched it a second time, going into it knowing that it's not like some, kind of exciting Coen brothers thing, and it was...
That's a terrible way to put it.
It was great. I loved it the second time.
I loved Hail Caesar.
All the characters are fucking fantastic. Yeah,
it's so a relaxed, laid back movie. It's just kind of goofy and fun. Alden Ehrenreich, my favorite fucking character.
Yeah, Hobie Doyle.
Played Hobie Doyle.
Holy Lord,
fantastic.
Josh Brolin.
Nothing amazing, but I did like it quite a bit. I thought it was fun. As far as the Coen brothers do this, where they kind of just jump back and forth between like really serious topics and just very goofy things, and it is a little frustrating sometimes when stuff like, I don't know, Ballad of Buster Scruggs comes out, and these guys put out No Country for Old Men, which is maybe the greatest film since the turn of the millennium. I don't think that's like too dramatic to claim.
No, I don't think it's that crazy.
It's fucking a phenomenal movie, and it shows when they really want to be serious and really get like an intense script, they can make something completely amazing. And then you see stuff like Buster Scruggs, which is, as we're going to talk about, it's not the worst thing. It's not even bad necessarily. Well, it's not even that bad, relatively speaking, but it is frustrating to see them in this movie with...
Well, excuse me. It's not that bad.
Well, it's an anthology movie, so there's definitely different parts.
It's definitely going to be...
you can latch onto.
Less of a whole piece. But people love this movie. Have you talked to a lot of people about this movie?
I actually was kind of forced into checking out because a friend of mine really wanted me to see it, and I watched it last night with them.
My brother is obsessed with it. I was hanging out with another friend recently, and they mentioned it. And they're not even like a big movie person, and they were like, "Oh my god, have you seen that? It's so good." I was like, "Really?"
See, that's interesting to me. That's strange to me.
Yeah, people love it, and I'm like, did I miss something? I don't know.
Because when you said the Coen brothers make movies for themselves, they do kind of make movies for movie people, especially the one I like Hail Caesar.
Yeah, but my brother wanted, when my family got together for Christmas, he like wanted to get everybody to watch it together. And I was like, what? Is this like just a fun, like every story is just great or something? And I watched the first one, and I was like, all right, this is amazing. The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, the mini story, is great.
So, okay, we're going to do this in like basically chronological order, I guess. And then we can like rank them at the end, I suppose, for each of us.
Yeah.
Not like percentage-wise, but in which order we liked it, and then we'll rank the movie overall. I wasn't wild about the first one.
Really?
I thought it's like peak goofy Coen brothers.
Yeah.
And I don't mean peak as in like it's great. I mean it's peak as in like them being as goofy as all hell. And it's kind of interesting. It's kind of charming. I really like the music in it. I mean, it got a Academy Award nomination, I think, for one of his for the song at the end of that skit. I do really like the music. I really like his singing. I like the character, and
yeah,
it's funny and it's.
I wish
cute,
he came back or something. Was in another story or something like some. I don't know, because I just
something to tie all together.
Yeah, and I think it could have been cool if it was him, because one, his name is in the title, but also he was the best character of the movie, I would say. just the most instantly like, holy shit, that guy's like really entertaining to watch. And
see, I do like him, but I don't know if I would want to watch an entire movie with him going around being goofy and then shooting people and then going somewhere else and they're like, hey, you're goofy, motherfucker, and then he shoots them. And...
The table thing is great. Did you know that the guy he kills with the table is the voice of Mr. Krabs?
I recognize him. I definitely recognized him. Was he also the crab in Aquaman?
Yeah, Crabman. King.
Are they about Mr. Krabs or Crabman?
Crab King. But yeah, I love the table thing. That was fucking great.
See, that's, I don't know. That felt very, like, Hateful Eight-y to me, which is just, like, I don't know. It was goofy.
I know. When I was on board, I was like, I hope this is a little more...
At that point, I thought this was going to be, like, a fantasy in the guy's head. And he was actually, like, going to be a complete loser at the end. And it was just, like, that was his fantasy version of him imagining the scenario.
I thought it was just going to be kind of like... I thought it was going to be more crazy, I guess. And then it just...
Well, yeah, that skit is... one of my big issues with this whole movie overall is how tonally off it is skit from skit. And, like I said, the first skit is extremely goofy.
Mm-hmm. Which I liked. I thought it was very entertaining. I almost wish it stuck with that. Or maybe I was just disappointed because it starts with that. And then it doesn't really get to that level of, like, surrealism or, like, fantasy-ish.
At least not in that style.
Again, yeah.
It does go into surrealism a little bit later, but not quite in the style of that at all. They're all, like, stylistically, like, very different, which... I don't know, it could be cool in concept, but then it's all bound together by being, like, in this Western novella kind of thing, and it's kind of jarring jumping from some of the skits to the other skits. One issue I had with this, and a lot of the other skits in this movie, is that a lot of them just really, really lack subtlety. And the Coen brothers, I mean, again, referencing No Country for Old Men, the Coen brothers know subtlety. They know how to do subtlety. Mm-hmm. And there's just stuff, I don't know, there's just ways they filmed it, and I guess they wanted it to be corny and goofy, but... I was thinking this could be really great if they just were like a little more subtle with some things, and not just like, you know, having him like get a little gold harp and turn into a Looney Tunes cartoon at the end. But
I kind of like that though.
I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, you like it because of that, and I don't dislike it. I guess it's just like it's cute and funny, I guess, but it's not really.
Yeah, it was very
my preferred type of Western media or whatever.
Tech savory, like kind of ridiculous, but. Yeah, so his whole story was basically he just went from person to person, he killed some people, and then he got shot at the end. And that was it.
Well, then you get this kind of... There is a overlying theme that kind of ties them together that's just like death in general, especially in the frontier. But very loosely ties them together through that.
Yeah.
And there's that, you know, the whole end of the skit is just he gets shot. It's like, well, this is bound to happen eventually. And then he just like goes off to heaven and sings a song where he's like... This cowboy will trade his spurs for wings, and it's like maybe I won't have to deal with like being rough and tough and tumbler or something like that. Which is cute, yeah.
Yeah, it felt like the shortest one too, the shortest of the 5 stories. Or maybe it just zipped by.
I would say
the other ones.
Yeah, it went. That's the thing about it. It's very fun, so it does go. It feels like
the other ones like
some of the other ones
drag. It's like some of them.
Well, there's one that really dragged. The one that felt shortest for me is I want to say the next one, the Pan Man, felt pretty short. I think it was actually the shortest with Franco.
That was the shortest? The first one felt the shortest to me. That one also felt short. So I don't really have much else to say about Buster Scruggs.
Yeah, it's pretty cut and dry. That's it. It's just really goofy. It's kind of.
It was a cool intro. I was definitely on board.
Nice musical pieces.
I liked I like the book thing. It reminds me of.
Oh, I love the book thing. It's great.
It reminds me of those old Disney movies, like the anthology Disney movies, where there'd be like 2 or 3 animated shorts together.
Well, it's like those old Western novella books. You know what it made me think of? It made me think of the guy who was writing the book on English Bob in Unforgiven, and he was writing that like old Western book because those existed. Those were actually like those old pulp Western novellas. Mm-hmm. And that when they wrote them in the late 1800s and into the 90s or 1900s.
Oh shit! I totally forgot a story. I was thinking there were 5. I definitely forgot one.
Which one did you forget?
The one with the girl.
Oh yeah, that's the fucking longest one.
I forgot all about that one. Well, damn. That one comes...
Well, we'll get to it.
What is that in between?
Well, next we have Franco.
Yeah. Which, alright, this one kind of pissed me off because it had a few times where I was like, okay, like, I get where this is going, maybe. And then it just didn't go anywhere. Like, I'm surprised the Coen brothers, like, signed up
at Owl Creek
on this script, kind of.
So I really like the idea of this one where it's like this dude escapes death only to wind right back up in the same situation through just bad luck. And it's this very kind of like Twilight Zone-esque, like, occurrence at Owl Creek, kind of just like little brief and kind of grim story. I like the grimness of it, but it is also incredibly goofy. It's like it handles its subject like a little bit more grim than the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, the opening skit, and then it also has just as much goofiness as that too, with like the pan guy running out,
pan shot,
and pan chat. That reminded me of like a video game character or something. It was funny, but I
liked him. I was kind of like
dark story.
It's just like that was a cool idea. It's like this script had like a couple cool ideas, and then I felt like it just like they were abandoned or didn't. They were never fully fleshed out, and then the whole story was never fully fleshed out. I was kind of disappointed.
I think that was just a gag, and that's what it.
I know, but like okay, so that happens, and then he gets he's gonna be hanged at the tree. And then all the people get killed, and the Native Americans just like leave him there. And I was like, "This is cool. Yeah. This could be like a cool like survival story, maybe." And then that doesn't really go anywhere.
I thought it was gonna be one of those things where he escapes once, and then he gets bad luck, and then he escapes again, and then he gets bad luck, and then eventually hangs. But I mean, he escapes once through sheer luck, and then gets incredibly unlucky. It's kind of like that luck is a fickle mistress kind of story, which I really liked about it. But again, with that goofiness, I don't know. It was brief, and it was fine, I guess.
I kind of lacked a point. I was like, oh, all right, well, that one was lame. Maybe the next one will be great. And then you like the next one.
I love the next one. The next one's my favorite part of the movie. I like it a lot. The next is when we have the quadruple amputee thespian, who's basically like Liam Neeson is like this hobo who's doing like, he's just like his caretaker, but he's doing it because he's like a sideshow, like a little carnival that travels in a wagon. And it's great because he's reciting like basically the entire Bible. What I'm guessing is like what the American definition of history was at that point, like the beginning of time from the Bible, creationism, and into the Lincoln speech, which is probably pretty recent in that time period. So it's like this thespian who goes there and like spends like hours every night in different little towns and cattle like towns, reciting like the history of the world and like this like thespian vocalship, and Liam Neeson's like panhandling off of it, and eventually he stops making money, and then he finds a fucking chicken that can do math, and he just discards this dude and just throws him off a bridge and kills him because he stopped making money. And I don't know, it was just so cold and cruel, and it was more subtle than any of the other ones, and
I don't know.
I really liked it.
I don't know. I guess, but to me, this one was when I kind of clocked out of this movie a bit. I was like,
it's so tonally different from everything else in the movie.
I found it very boring, and I guess you could say it was subtle, but like I knew what was going to happen. Like this one dragged for me because like very quickly I was like, oh, he's going to like get rid of this guy and probably kill him. And then I just watched it keep going, and I was like, all right, can we get done with this one? Like this one's like boring. I respect it as a story more than a lot of the other stories, I would say, because it's a better put together little. It has a point to it, and it comes to the conclusion. It was so like broadcasted, like what was going to happen to me, and I was just like, okay, it's another scene of them in another town, and I was like, I don't know, it just kind of dragged.
Maybe I was being a little bit naive watching it, but I didn't immediately. I mean, like, obviously by the point when he's looking over the edge of the bridge, I'm like, oh, fuck. Or the point when you see the chicken is like, what's he going to do with it? That guy's going to die without Liam Neeson's help. He can't do anything. And I kind of saw the abandonment thing coming, but, like, I didn't know what their relationship was. I didn't know if they were brothers or he was, like, his father. I don't know what the backstory behind them was. I didn't know it was going to be like they were soldiers in the Civil War together.
They had, like, very little relationship is what it seemed like.
But Yeah, but that's the great thing about it is you're trying to pick up some things through subtext, but there's these little subtleties of these guys, and they don't have any relationship, but a few things are mentioned here and there, and it's like he's helping him piss. They've obviously been on the road together for a while, and they go to the whorehouse, and he said he ever had any, and he's like once, and it's like what does that mean? Like what are these guys' history together? Like what is it? So I didn't know it was gonna end up completely dark, and again maybe that's just me being naive, but.
Maybe it's
When I got to the point of that, I was like, "This is fucking dark," and I like it a lot.
Yeah, maybe it's me being cold and dark, but I was like, very quickly, I was like, he's gonna dump this dude. He's got no arms and legs.
Off a bridge.
This is the West, like
for a chicken.
He's gonna dump this motherfucker, and then it just kept going and going and going. I did like the chicken. And I like that the chicken just made so much more money than the.
Yeah. It's so dark. It's fucking great.
Yeah, but like I don't know.
He's like a brilliant like thespian stage.
And this was definitely the hardest tonal shift in the movie because
180.
Because then after that, they don't really get back full cartoony again.
No, they don't. But I love this one. I loved it thoroughly. And you haven't seen Inside Llewyn Davis, but not a lot happens in that movie, really. Arguably, nothing happens in that movie in some context.
Mm.
But I watched Inside Llewyn Davis, and I was like, all right, I kind of like it. But I really like this skit, and seeing what they did with Inside Llewyn Davis, that could have been the length of this skit. And this movie could have been the length, or this skit could have been the length of that movie. And I would have much rather see this skit kind of drawn out in that kind of way. I don't know if that makes too much sense.
Maybe.
But Inside Llewyn Davis it could have been a 20-minute skit, and it's stretched out to a full-length movie, a rather lengthy one, and then vice versa with this skit of Liam Neeson and the quadruple amputee, who was in Harry Potter, wasn't he?
I don't know. It felt like a full-length movie. I was like, God damn. It really.
You know what felt like a full-length movie to me? The fucking Caravan one.
Oh yeah.
Is that the next one? The next one is All Gold Canyon.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how I don't know. I kind of like this one. I really don't like how it ends. It's a bit just. It's a little gold prospector, and you come in, and it's very much on the beginning. It's like the intrusion of nature and stuff like that.
So this is the guy playing him.
Tom Waits.
Yes, Tom Waits. Have you ever heard Tom Waits? He sounds like he sounds like he eats like razor blades or something. But also, cool thing about Tom Waits is apparently he was a big inspiration on Heath Ledger's Joker. And if you watch a interview with like Tom Waits back in the day when he was like definitely on a bunch of drugs and shit, you can see it. You're like, oh yeah, it's definitely.
So you're saying this skit's actually about the Joker? It's an origin story?
Yeah, it's the Joker origin story. I don't know, this one.
This one, I forgot about it, and we both forgot about it. So I think that speaks for this skit a lot.
I didn't forget about this one. It's just like
I did multiple times. I forgot about it. I forgot about it last night after I watched it. I was talking about it with my friend.
I kind of just like this one drags, and then at the end, I don't know, man. It's this. I think it's.
I didn't like the climax for this one at all. I thought it was interesting for a little bit. Very beautiful.
Yeah.
Cinematography.
The climax.
And
this whole set of stories to me, this might be unfair. It probably is to compare it to like Tarantino's recent movies. But
oh no, they're very. I mean, Tarantino
feels like,
especially Buster Scruggs feels like a Tarantino.
It feels like tonally, like you're setting up. It's like okay, Western, but it's definitely not realistic, and so we can get a little weird with it, and then it just never gets weird or extreme enough, or have like enough big of a payoff. I feel like if Tarantino made this, every ending to a story. Maybe there would be one like the Liam Neeson one where you're just like, oh shit, like that was dark. But then like they would all have some sort of crazy ending or be really suspenseful or have some twist or something like that. Just these kind of, you're like, oh, there's a guy who shot him. Oh, but he's not dead. And then, okay. It's like it doesn't hit the way that like a short story can hit sometimes.
Yeah, you're very much right. I agree. This one, I thought it was going to be some intrusion of nature. I thought this one was going to have a little subtler message or something like that. And especially with him like grabbing the owl egg and putting all but one back. And I thought it was gonna be he was finally found the gold vein and like collapsed on him. And it would be like, you know, maybe like a shittier Twilight Zone episode. But instead, yeah, some dude just comes and shoots him and he just like kills him and he's like, "You're a bastard," and then he walks off with the gold. And I guess it's supposed to be this like message of fucking con men and versus hardworking laborers. Like, I don't know. I didn't really resonate with it at all.
This one
and it was just incredibly forgettable for me.
This was definitely one I had like a Tarantino thought that I was like, this could end really cool, and then just like didn't. I don't know.
Yeah,
a lot of these,
forgettable ones.
I just kind of, it seemed like they wrote it without knowing the ending, and then just were fine with the ending that came up. Kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and a lot of them do feel that the almost said the Tarantino brothers, the Coen brothers, wanted to film a little window of the West, and they're like, I want to make a covered I want to film a covered wagon, or I want to film someone paying for gold, or I want to film someone robbing a bank, and then they just couldn't really settle on one, so they made a little anthology story of it. Next, we get on to The Gal Who Got Rattled, which feels, at least, so long.
Yeah.
I didn't mind this one, but holy crap, it really kind of dragged quite a bit.
It's another one that, like, this one actually, the climax was pretty cool and kind of paid off. Well, it was, like, exciting, but, like, you could have... I felt like the story leading up to it didn't really have anything to do with the payoff that much.
I think the idea was to build up this. They come to this head where they have like this lady has all these problems and their cattle boy is about to leave and stuff like that, and then the guy marries her and it's like, oh, resolved, and then it's like, no, dark twist. And I feel like all the time spent to get into that dark twist was them focusing on, I don't know, just drawing it out to try and like really get us interested in the characters with all that. And I don't think it works really in favor of the story. I think they could have cut down like maybe a night or two out of the caravan sequence.
Yeah.
There's just a lot. There's just a lot of them in the caravan talking kind of in circles just about, I got my financial
problem. Your dog. Okay. The dog barks a lot. Doesn't the dog come out like, okay?
I think so, yeah. I think the cattleman leaves the dog in the end. I do like that the guy is like, you know what, I'd rather settle down in Oregon than become an old weirdo cattle driver like this guy. Or
the big fight is cool.
Yeah. I mean, feels a little dated. Feels a little like, look how badass he is shooting these engines. But, you know, it was cool enough. But yeah, it's just really dragged. I don't know, I really wasn't keen on this one. I think this is when the movie kind of bucked me out of the saddle to be fucking to be nice and campy. I guess we should preface this, but I love westerns. Not the very old westerns, not from like the golden age of westerns, but you know, probably my second favorite movie ever is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
I like westerns too. You definitely like them more than me and are more knowledgeable in them. But there's so many cool things you can do in the sandbox of a western.
Yeah, and I do like this approach of like the kind of Twilight Zone episode kind of stuff, but
yeah,
which is kind of funny because the Twilight Zone had a bunch of episodes that were set in the West, and a lot of them sucked. A lot of them are like the worst Twilight Zone episodes.
Yeah, like there's a lot of things you could do, and yeah, Twilight Zone is another great example of like shorts that are, the stories are just really impactful, almost because they're short. I don't know. Maybe the Coen brothers are not good at writing short stories or something, because I know they are tricky. They're kind of a different beast when it comes to writing. I've heard that short stories are like, you kind of have to think about them differently. So maybe that could be it. I don't know. So Alan drag and she kills herself.
Yeah, it's got a nice ending, but it just drags too much. It really does. It could have been shorter, and that's I don't know. That's about it. There was points where I was watching, I'm like, God damn, this is still the same skit going. Like, and I don't want to say I particularly disliked it, but I don't know.
I feel like I'm being really negative on this movie.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like the movie that much, honestly.
I was kind of disappointed, and as well, I was extra disappointed because of all those people that I've talked to that seem to love it.
Yeah,
like normal people.
Well, you know, those people probably just watched the first skit and watched him like shoot a few people, and then they just get on their fucking iPads and shit and just start listening to music on their headphones while it plays in the background. Because that's how people watch movies nowadays. Is they just,
Yeah, you look at your phone and...
Yeah, they just check their social media while it plays and stuff like that. Watch memes on full volume through their AirPods.
So,
I don't have anything else to say about this.
So then
we're going through this,
I
don't have anything else to say about this skit.
The last one, you cannot avoid a Hateful Eight comparison. Like, was this written after?
What's your reasoning behind that? Because I other than like just having a very like dialogue heavy scene in a stagecoach
With the bodies on the top, they all are figuring out each other. It's the same exact setup as the first half of like Hateful Eight, the first fourth.
a little bit. Yeah, I guess you're right there. I kind of hated this last one. I don't know how you felt about it, but
I was like, I liked it more than the past like three, I would say.
it felt like they completely ran out of budget and they were just milking their actors for
Milk.
an extra story. And
For milk money.
They're milking it for blue.
We
milk.
need to make some more some more money, guys. Get milking.
Mark Hamill, get over there, milk those tits. Yeah, it felt really low budget, and this like dialogue in this cabin of this stagecoach is the entire short story here, and it's not the best Coen Brothers dialogue they can write, and for a skit that's all the skit is propped up by, it just doesn't work for me at all, and then it's stuff like, oh, we look out the window, oh, this the carriage driver doesn't stop, and it's like, oh, it's death. It's fucking death. We know it's fucking death. Like, that's so, like, it's like centuries old cliche right there. The dialogue, it felt like it was kind of overwritten in a lot of ways, and just,
Yeah.
I don't know. They were all kind of cliches, but they were delivering dialogue that's supposed to be like, answer to life kind of stuff, and I really just didn't enjoy it one bit.
Who were the characters? I know it was like
it was two British guys, a trapper, like a Frenchman, I think, and
yeah, he was like kind of like a swindler guy. She was like a proper lady who like believed in.
Yeah, she was like a proper lady of the universities and arts and stuff like that.
And the trapper guy was just like.
But they're all like kind of caricatures, and the dialogue they're delivering is supposed to be like this like super methodical discussion, and it felt like the beginning of Stalker when like the writer's talking and he's just like going on these like tangents about how it's like and he's talking with a chemist, and there's one of them's talking about like life from a scientific perspective, the other one's talking about it from like a literary and arts perspective, and it felt like they were trying to do that, and it just was not up to snuff. And then, like I said, the budget showed. The lighting was really weird in this scene. It felt a little bit like over dramatic for like the sunset lighting.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get to the final mansion and they get out, and it's like, yeah, they're dead. We get it. We knew it. And they walk into the mansion, and you could see out in the background, and there's two quote unquote houses or buildings, and they are literally two-dimensional fucking walls. Like, you know how they do that in like stage setups? They do that in like 100 Western movies where there's just like rows of houses that are just actually just plywood decorated on one side.
Mm-hmm.
But like usually movies and cinematographers and directors do really good jobs of hiding that they're two-dimensional. In this, it was just so flagrant. There was just no dimensions to them. And I was looking at it, I was like, yeah, this is, it felt like this is like the actors were hanging out and they had like $20 left to spend on a set, so they brought in like a smoke machine. Other than like the mansion itself, it felt like the most low budget thing ever. And I wasn't here for it, honestly.
Yeah, it was. I liked it.
It kind of brought the whole movie down a peg.
I liked it a
It
little.
made the final thing.
I liked it a little more than. I don't know, man. I like it. This is just debating which I liked the least. After like a couple of them, like now that we're revisiting them, I would maybe put the Liam Neeson one higher up there. Even though at the time I was like, it was boring as shit.
Throw him off the bridge.
Yeah, I was like, fucking do it. But it had a point, and it was like a slow burn story that felt like it should be, kind of.
Slow burn, yeah.
Yeah, and these are like, they're all, except for Buster Scruggs, they're all kind of like slow burns. Even though in the second one, the Franco one, I don't think that's supposed to feel like that, but I was kind of like, all right.
See, that one didn't feel too slow.
Or like, when is this going to get to the point? And then it just ended.
That one felt like the shortest to me, actually.
Yeah, but it's still just like,
honest.
All right, so we're doing this thing, now we're doing this thing. It's like, when is this going to start making some sort of cool narrative sense? And it just never did for me. The Liam Neeson one, I got it, so that gives it points. The gold miner, prospector guy, it's not bad, or it's not bad.
The gold prospector one, let's go ahead and rank them. So we have the list. We have 6 parts. There's the Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which is, of course, the beginning of Buster Scruggs. We have the second one, Near Algodones, which is the Franco where he robs the bank and hangs.
Banshot.
We have Meal Ticket, which is Liam Neeson and Harry Potter's brother, who was a amputee. We have All Gold Canyon with, what's his name, Tom Waits. We have the Joker. Then we have The Gal Who Got Rattled. She got rattled and she shot herself. After being on that super long caravan. And then we have the final one, the 6th one, The Mortal Remains. So I'll go ahead and take the wheel first, I guess, and I will rank, I guess, top to bottom, maybe? Yeah. Because I know what my favorite is. I'm kind of sorting out which ones the rest of the order from there. So my favorite one is definitely The Meal Ticket. Like I said, I didn't necessarily see that coming because I didn't know what the relationship was. And I was like sitting there trying to figure out what the relationship was. And while I was being lured into that, then the movie just hits you on the head and is like, yeah, they didn't have a relationship. He's just using it for Meal Ticket. And then once he's not profitable, he just throws him in the river. Maybe if I saw the title Meal Ticket, I don't remember seeing that as the title. Maybe if I saw that title initially, I would have predicted that a little bit more. But that was definitely my favorite. Incredibly dark. Completely tonally off from the rest of the skits.
Yeah.
And I loved how dark it was. After that, I might go with Near Algodones. I don't know, it had some goofiness to it that I didn't think the goofiness worked quite as well as it does in Buster Scruggs, the first skit, but it also does have that really Twilight Zone-y kind of twist of just like, I don't know, escaping the noose only to end up right back in it. And I really liked it for that. And then it also felt really quick and to the point, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
After that, I'm probably going to go with The Ballad of Buster Scruggs because, honestly, for the music alone, I really fucking liked the music in it. It was great singing. It was a little weird and corny, but you get into it and you're like, oh, this is the Coen brothers goofing around. It's fun. I enjoyed it decent enough, and it went by pretty quick. After that, man, I got to think about, because I really didn't care for Gold Canyon much at all. And The Gal Who Got Rattled, even though I did like the final twist, it was fucking long as shit and kind of boring. Yeah, I might put The Gal Who Got Rattled after that as number 4, and then Gold Canyon as 5. Although I have to say, I mean, I don't know, The Girl Who Got Rattled is when I kind of gave up on the movie. It's really hard to say. I might just tie both those for number 4, honestly.
Yeah, those.
And then just the last one is The Mortal Remains. I was just totally checked out for that one at that point, and the dialogue was just not cutting it for me to prop up that whole sequence, and I felt final limited budget seeping in. I felt like they were just stretching their movie on because they thought they had something really, really smart to say, and I don't know. I didn't really think it was. So go ahead and rank them for yourself, Caleb.
Probably Buster Scruggs number 1.
Right.
I was so on board for the movie. Probably 2 is Meal Ticket after thinking about it. At the time,
all right, I'm glad I talked you up to it.
Well, it's not even. It's half you talking about it and half me realizing
half the other one's not being good.
Yeah, I was at the time. That was when I turned on the movie, where I was like, all right, if they're all going to be boring and shitty, then this sucks. But then looking back, I'm like, maybe that was just the first. I don't know. It was just when I was.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Maybe that's just the moment where you were like.
Yeah, I was like, the tone of this is not going to be fun, and if it never picked up after that. It's not like that was the dark one, and then the kind of slow one. It just like I was like, all right, seriously. So yeah, that's probably 2. I think it's the best story, it's the best story I would say. Period. Even though I saw it coming and everything. It was a little too long. 3, maybe the Franco one.
Yeah, near Algodones.
But I was also like, I was totally clocked into the movie. I think that's maybe just a bad thing about anthology movies. It's like,
oh yeah,
you get a bad one, or 2 bad ones in a row, you might not even like the one after that just because you're not invested anymore.
Yeah, that's
probably
that's
All
a
Gold
really
Canyon, number 4. I don't know. At the time, I like.
You're on the same predicament I was on with All Gold Canyon and Gal Who Got Rattled. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I like All Gold Canyon more. It was interesting seeing Tom Waits
pan for gold. It's interesting seeing how they actually find the veins of gold. It was like an instructional video. Interesting.
Yeah, it was like terrible. It looked like the most miserable lifestyle.
You get to go in that beautiful valley. Canyon, sorry.
Yeah, the girl who got rattled, I remember more. So that's the second to last one. They're almost in order.
Yeah, for you. I see that.
Yeah.
So at the bottom for you.
Probably the last one.
The final?
Yeah, whatever.
The Mortal Remains? Okay. You want to elaborate on that? I feel like I talked about it a lot, not you.
I don't really remember it. I think at the time I was like, I kind of liked it because I liked the Twilight Zoniness of it, but I don't remember anything about it almost. I remember the girl who got rattled a little bit, so it obviously left a bigger impact on me.
Yeah.
Even though I barely remember, like, scene to scene, I couldn't tell you what the hell happened in that one, and it's not long. None of these are long, and they're very forgettable.
I know, it's like they all kind of just fleet out of your mind like almost immediately.
I don't get why people love it.
Other than Meal Ticket with the chicken, because that chicken, man, he's better at me than math. Or fucking fuck. You know what I'm trying to say.
I mean, the chickens...
He's probably better at me with English, too.
To the chicken's credit, that's pretty incredible, you know?
I thought, see, this is another thing that kind of threw me in a little bit of a loop. I thought they were going to get the chicken, and then they was going to be like, I bought this chicken, we're going to be alright. And then it was like, the chicken, it wasn't the chicken being fucking smart. It was them with like a special system in their trailer. And they just do that with a bunch of different chickens, and they sell the chicken and con people. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like they have a special machine in the trailer that has seed. They think it's the chicken doing math, and he's like, I got this magical chicken, and he sells the chicken, and then the guy buys it for fucking, like $300, and then he just goes to the next town, gets another chicken, does the same thing on the same carriage that's, like, rigged to make the chickens hit the boards.
The whole movie, I was like, Liam's just gonna drop this guy. See, when I saw the chicken, I was like, well, you're done. You're just like a nuisance.
See, I got that vibe. I got that vibe too when he sees the chicken, and it's like, oh, this fucking thespian's being outstaged by a chicken, and it's like, yeah, I get it. I didn't think he was gonna fucking just drop him in a river, though. I thought he was gonna like leave him in town. Or
I was like, even if this is his brother or like his best friend or something, this is like times is tough, you know. You're good.
Times be tough.
You're gonna drop this guy. He's got no arms and no legs, and this is the West. This is ridiculous. First of all, how is he surviving? How did he survive whatever injury took place or whatever in the Old West? I don't know. Can you even live like that? I mean, I'm sure there are people like that in the world, but
well, you can if Liam Neeson doesn't drop you in a river.
Yeah, sure.
That'll end it real quick. I don't want Liam Neeson to drop me in a river with fucking all my limbs. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, well, what if... I don't know. I mean, the chicken just is a better option. I mean, way more entertaining. I mean, you could just tell that nobody gave a shit about his performances anyway.
I know, it's great. There's a little commentary in there, too. A little social commentary, you know? That people like chicken.
Yeah, people like chickens that can do math. They're like, I can't even do math. What the hell?
Yeah, they could have just been like phony the whole way because people don't even know math back then. How they like what? 11 twice. It's like, all right, dumbass. Yeah, so that's the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Caleb, what would you give the Ballad of Buster Scruggs on our rating scale of 0 to 100%?
60.
Yeah. Okay, that's literally what I was gonna give it to.
59, 60. Like,
well, that's the difference on Rotten Tomatoes between rotten and fresh. Would you like to land on one?
That's why I'm kind of like on the fence. It's a D or an F. I'll give it a D. People seem to enjoy it.
You give it that D.
It's
See, I don't count the 50 or I don't count 59 as an F because it's just like I don't know. I don't believe in the U.S. grading system. The U.S. public school grading system is what I'm trying to say, really. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Right? To me, it's like once you get in that 60%, it's like, do I want this to be fresh? In my mind, is this fresh or is it not?
or
That's what it comes down to when you land on the
passable. Like a D is you passed, but you suck, and an F is you suck. And I don't think it sucks. It's fine that they made it, and it was like, I don't know. I kind of get the vibe. This might sound shitty to the filmmakers that are doing this, but I feel like directors, other than Roma, obviously, but some directors I've noticed, like, I don't feel like they try as hard on these Netflix original movies and shit like that.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't know if I actually have an example of that. But
wow, I'm so stupid. You know what I was thinking for a while? This is going to sound like the stupidest thing ever. This is kind of funny, though. For some reason, I thought Ethan Coen wrote the fucking Sherlock and Holmes movie that just came out with Will Ferrell, the one that got, like, savaged. Like,
yeah.
I thought he wrote that, and I went to the Wikipedia to look it up, and Ethan Coen wrote it. E-T-A-N Coen.
Is that even related? Or...
No, but I thought it was Ethan Coen. I was like, what is Ethan Coen doing? Because everyone always says they like Joel Coen more, and I was like, oh, I get it now. I see why people always.
You could say
oh my
somebody
God.
wrote.
It literally says on his Wikipedia page, the first line, Ethan Coen, not to be confused with Ethan Coen. Oh, his last name's spelled differently too. Duh.
Oh my God. I would hope not. That would be a...
I'm glad I sorted that out before I ever met Ethan Coen.
Be like, what the hell happened with, what's it called?
Holmes and Watson.
Holmes and Watson, yeah. Be like, excuse me? Are you confusing
Get
me
the
with
fuck out of my
Etan
fucking
Cohen?
face.
You don't know how many times a day
Listen
I
from
get
Hollywood.
confused with Etan Cohen, okay?
God damn it, Etan. He calls Etan's agent.
Stealing my career. Directed by the
He just changes his name to Michael Cohen just to avoid it altogether.
Oh my God, Coen Brothers. Dude.
So yeah, no, I'm gonna give it a 62. That's what I was thinking. I after seeing it, I was thinking 65. But resonating on it more, I'm just like, it's quick. I don't know. If you like the Coen Brothers, if you like Wild West stuff, check it out. If you like the Twilight Zone, maybe check it out. If this movie didn't have the Liam Neeson skit in it, I liked that so much. If it didn't have that in it, I would have given this movie maybe like a 50. Maybe even down to like 45.
Yeah.
Buster Scruggs is fine. It was, like I said, it was cute. It was Coen Brothers being goofy. And then, I don't know, the Franco one was okay. And then the last three are just pretty bleh.
Yeah.
You got anything else to say about it?
No, I didn't really have much to say about it, period. It's kind of like...
Yeah, I kind of forced you to do this.
Well, no, it's just like... I was like, sure, I'll talk about it, and then we get on one, and I was like, and then it ends, and then
the next one starts. And then
I don't like being super negative. I was just like, damn, this really... It was a big disappointment of a movie. I was actually kind of excited for it. But...
Yeah. But you had a good point about it. It does feel like some of these directors who do stuff on Netflix just kind of screw around. And the Coen Brothers in general do feel like they've been screwing around quite a bit lately, which is fine. I mean, their movies are still enjoyable.
Yeah, they can do
to an extent,
whatever they want at this point, which is...
I gotta say, this and Inside Llewyn Davis are down there for me, though. They're down there.
But like,
I feel like you might not like Llewyn Davis very much either yourself.
When they screw around, it can be...
It's a bit tedious.
It can be like really interesting, like Burn After Reading. It was like, that's such a pure Coen Brothers style comedy. It's just like, why did you make this? And like, why is all this stuff happening? But it works.
Madness.
I don't know why that works and some of these don't.
Well, tonal inconsistency is at least one reason.
Yeah.
It's also not very funny. Like they do these little like quip jokes that they do a little bit in their other movies, but in this movie they really hammed it up. And I don't know. This movie wasn't very funny. There wasn't very many gags in it, realistically.
It wasn't very exciting.
Like some physical gags of people getting shot funny, which is I don't know.
It wasn't very like
lowbrow.
clever. It just didn't. It just kind of came and went. I don't know.
Just like Buster Scruggs.
And then you just switch it over to watch fucking Friends or something. So it's like how Netflix works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friends.
Ballad. Buster Scruggs.
Right. The Ballad of streaming services.
Ballad of Joey Tribbiani.
Oh, God. All right, well, that was another Tabunda episode. A little low energy today, guys, but yeah, we decided to kind of do this on the fly. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. If you have anything to say about how you felt about the movie or your rating system of the skits in it, go ahead and leave that in a comment below. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. We also have a Patreon that inspires us to see more movies, rate more movies, subscribe to more streaming services, and log on here and do more movie reviews and things of the sort. Our Patreon will also give you access to some community stuff that will kind of give us input as to what we watch and what we talk about. Until next time, guys, enjoy the loud vehicles in my background.